Hello, listeners, and welcome to the Sonic Shuffle, a random and holistic Sonic lore podcast. I'm Dan, the teacher.
I'm Morg, the student.
And we have a new student in our classroom. Care to introduce yourself?
Hello. I'm Devon, a future new student. And I am so ready to learn all about our favorite hedgehog and his deep lore.
Hell yeah. Do you have any history with the Sonic franchise? Like, even if it's just...
I have, the bare minimum of, history with the Sonic franchise. When I was, really little, I got one of those, you plug it directly into your TV and it has, preloaded, Sega games on it. And one of them was Sonic, and I remember I played that for a little bit until, my brother got, mad at me and, broke it. And that was the end of my Sonic streak for a long while, until I picked up a great little video game called Sonic Chronicles. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah, so that was, the most non-Sonic game I could have ever gotten. And let me tell you, I loved that game. I played so much of it. It's not great, but it's good.
No.
But yeah, that's basically the extent of my Sonic knowledge, other than every time I see one of those real-time Sonic fan dubs, I kind of lose it for a second because those are so good. But that's about it.
Right. Cool.
I don't know shit about Sonic Chronicles. What would that even fit under? 3D games?
So,
it's
Sonic Chronicles, after giving it some consideration, I've put it into the miscellaneous category because I don't think it's canon anymore.
It's basically basically what if Final Fantasy except Sonic.
It's a BioWare. It's a Sonic RPG developed by BioWare for the Nintendo DS, but specifically BioWare Montreal, which was new at the time and didn't have a lot of experience. And it's rather infamous for its soundtrack, which is not good, which is an extreme rarity for Sonic. Even the most critically panned games have good soundtracks.
Yeah, it was kind of a train wreck of a game, which is probably why I played it so many times.
Alright, so we're gonna open with some more Sonic Chronicles. I'm just gonna do some quick background explanation for Devon. Sonic Chronicles is... we're reading Stay Sonic, and Stay Sonic is a lore book for the UK lore of Sonic. You see, in the 90s there was a comic called Sonic the Comic, and it was very different from its American counterparts in terms of Sonic media, and it had its own set of lore. Also, it was super popular in the UK in the 90s.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So, just to, note some of the important lore things in this book, let's see.
This book has, some of the Sonic lore, Sonic Bible stuff in it, I believe, if I remember correctly, which is that Eggman got fused with an egg.
Yeah.
In a tragic accident. Yeah.
Okay. Kind of on the nose.
If you know anything about this Sonic Bible, which made popular by fucking Brian David Gilbert, it's that story, kind of. But, extended. And made its own.
Good.
Yeah, there's the important things you need to know about this origin story are Sonic was once a was once a brown hedgehog. He was still pretty fast, but not as super speed, I think. He meets up with a scientist named Dr. Ovi Kintobor, which is Ivo Robotnik backwards. And he becomes his lab assistant, and in one tragic accident, well, first there's a not-so-tragic accident where he goes at the speed of sound and turns blue. And then there's a tragic one where Dr. Ovi Kintobor gets fused with a rotten egg and becomes the disgusting, eggy Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you just, like, break the speed of sound and you enter blue mode. Everyone knows the Blue Man Group is always just moving at the speed of sound. That is their power.
Let's see, so far this lore book has, like, introduced some other things about Sonic, like, he learned all his platforming skills from his friends who are based on the Flickies from Sonic 1 and 2 and 3. He eats a lot, and it's good because he's really fast and he burns off the calories easily. Dr. Kintobor, meanwhile, Dr. Robotnik, I should say, is gross and fat, and he eats nothing but eggs.
And they like to bring up how fat he is. It sucks, but, that's just life. It also talks about the different badniks, aka the evil robots and stuff, and, like, the little, like, flying machine he rides, called the Egomatic.
To be quite honest, I'm not sure if there's any other material outside of UK stuff that gives it a name. I like the name.
He's got a brand. He's got a brand, and it's the Egg Dude.
Brand is eggs. Mr. Egg.
Like, the Eggomatic is like a thing in the games. Like, in all of the games, well, a lot of the games, he, like, rides around in this little hover car thing, and sort of like the Koopa Clown car, and it has attachments on it, and he uses those to fight you in boss fights. We were leaving off on a huge list of badniks, but I think it would get tedious to list off every single one, so I'm gonna skip ahead.
Yeah, you could look at the pictures of them, though, which Dan linked in the Discord to the PDF, and some of them are, like, cute. They're just, like, cute little animal robots. They're just friends.
I do love them. Like,
that hurt you, but her friends.
Sometimes our best friends are the ones that hurt us. I want to see these little robot dudes. Give me one quick second.
Yeah.
Oh, they are friends.
I know!
They're all friends. Also, I love how much Dr. Robotnik just looks like an absolute walrus in this. They had an objective, and it is beautiful walrus man.
You're cutting out a bit.
I was just saying I love how Dr. Robotnik just looks like a complete walrus in it. And they went with...
Oh, yeah.
They're like...
Kind of is
walrusy. He is the walrus from... Oh, what is Down the Rabbit Hole? What is Alice in Wonderland? That one, like, horrible, frightening tale in that movie that scared me as a child. You know the one.
The Walrus and the Eggman.
What if he was a walrus? Because, like, every other fucking person is an animal, like...
What if he's a walrus and he just has, like, a human sona and he's really trying to live his life?
It's the opposite of Tusks. I'm sorry. I shouldn't bring that movie into this. Anyway, moving on. Anyways. So we are we, like, skipping the Mega Drive tips?
Yeah, there's just, like, there are two chapters that follow. One is a collection of tips for Sonic 2 for the Mega Drive, or as we call it in the US, the Sega Genesis. And then there's another chapter that's a set of tips for Sonic 2 for the Master System, which had the same name. And was this 8-bit system that Sega had before they got popular with the Mega Drive / Genesis.
I've never heard of the Master System.
Yeah, that is unknown lore to me. That is deeply unknown lore.
From what I know, it was pretty popular in, like, Brazil, just because, like, the gaming situation was very different in Brazil compared to the rest of the world. And, like, as far as, like, notable games, like, I think the original Phantasy Star came out on it, and there was a bunch of Alex Kidd games, and these, like, fun little 8-bit games called the Wonder Boy series.
I'm such a baby, I don't know any of these games.
For what it's worth, Wonder Boy actually has, like, there's been remakes of some of the older games. One of them is, like, Wonder Boy and the Dragon's Trap, which got, like, this really beautifully animated remake a few years back. I recommend checking it out. I know it's available on PC and consoles.
What if it was Wonder Bread?
Wonder Bread and the Wonder.
What if
he was Wonder Bread?
What if he, like, went to the discount
No!
bread aisle? You know, like, just for fun?
No!
And, like, what if there was, like...
No!
This is, like, so funny. What if there was, like, a blonde woman there? And, like... What if she made fun of him? That would be really funny. It's just, I think that would be really cool to see. Does anyone know where I could get that?
I'm sure if you look around,
yeah, I'm
you
gonna
can find it.
I'll be right back. I have to go look for something real quick.
No.
Wait, was that in character?
Is that in character? This character that I'm playing of myself?
But I'm gonna skip ahead to a section that isn't lore, but I think is funny. It's called Sonic Celebrities. They answer the questions that matter. And it's just like a series of short interviews with celebrities who were popular in the UK in the early to mid 90s.
I don't know any of these fuckers.
I know that the only one I even, like, remotely know is Richard Fairbrass, and that's just because I happen to listen to a podcast by people who grew up in the UK in the early 90s and read Sonic the comic.
I looked at that picture and I literally thought that was Vin Diesel. Is that not Vin Diesel? That man looks like Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel's name is Vin Diesel.
I don't know what Vin Diesel does in his spare time. Maybe he has, like, a Sonic... Maybe he really likes Sonic, but he has to go in hiding to go enjoy Sonic content.
I think Vin Diesel likes D&D. I'm pretty sure Vin Diesel likes D&D. That's, like, a thing.
You see, Vin Diesel can also like Sonic. Maybe he plays as Sonic in D&D.
He plays interstitial.
They ask, like, all of these celebrities, like, the same 5 questions, which are, who would... Wait, actually, no, these are different questions. I was just skimming through it, and... So, like, they seem to be asking from, like, the same set of questions, or whatever. The first is Kathy Dennis. I am looking her up on Wikipedia to find out who this person is. A British singer-songwriter who, let's see, wrote a number of popular songs. Come On and Get My Love.
Come On and Slam.
Come on
That's
and
not true.
Slam. Welcome to my love.
Oh, huh. She was in Toxic by Britney Spears.
Huh.
She provided additional writing. But her 5 questions are: what and where was your first experience of Sonic? To which he answers, jumping in the box which goes under the water into the spinning aura. Weird.
What?
maybe she meant like playing the game? Maybe she played the game, one of the games a little bit, or I don't know.
Maybe she played it in a box, and she's still stuck in this box till this day.
Maybe
and that's
she's,
why I haven't heard
so
of her.
trapped in the water of the spinning aura. She's still trapped. We need to get her out.
Who would you cast to play Robotnik in a film? To which she answers, the guy who played Jaws in the Bond movie Moonraker.
What?
I know there's a James Bond character named Jaws.
I literally was like, there's a shark in the giant James Bond movie. I'm fucking smart. I'm smart. Anyway.
You know, she could say anything in whatever order, and I would have no idea what she's talking about.
We'll never know what the hell is going on because we weren't growing up in the UK in the 1990s. If you ever met Sonic, what would your first question be? To which she answers, do your spikes need sharpening? And where would you take Sonic for lunch? A jeweler with a lot of rings.
Does she think he straight up eats the rings?
He eats the rings to gain power.
And when he gets hit, he apparently just throws them all up.
Disgusting.
Richie James of Manic Street Preachers, which I've also never heard of. But I really love his answers. What and where was your first experience of Sonic? Guildford, July 1991. What was your worst Sonic moment? Guildford, July 1991. What was your funniest Sonic moment? None. It's a deadly serious business. And most frustrating thing about Sonic, waiting for Sonic 3.
He's so right. Sonic is the most serious business.
My man, what did Sonic do to you?
We must know what happened to Richie. What mystery... This mysterious encounter with Sonic in Guildford of July of 1991.
This is just starts recording for the Magnus archives. Just Guildford, July 1991, an encounter with a blue hedgehog. A dangerous encounter with a little blue hedgehog who ate my ring.
Blue Hedgehog, that's a new one for the archives. Is this in the UK? It is set in the UK, the Magnus Archives.
Sonic is a dread power.
There you go. Oh, shit.
Our next one is from Zach Foley of EMF. What and where was your first experience of Sonic? Rockfield Studios in Monmouth, Gwent. What was your worst Sonic moment? I had nightmares in which I asked Sonic to go out with me and he agreed.
That's a nightmare.
That's a dream. What do you mean?
What was your funniest Sonic moment? Meeting Mrs. Sonic and her children. Nice.
Is Sonic his last name?
No, his name is Sonic, like Mario is Mario.
His full name is Sonic the Hedgehog. First, middle, last name.
Hedgehog.
Did he? Who's Mrs. Sonic then?
This is Sonic and her children.
I mean, if I'm going to draw from weird lore, I'm gonna say he's talking about Sonic's mom and his multiple siblings. That was in the Sonic Bible.
Remember how in the Sonic Bible he's from Nebraska?
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
He got down home.
He's from Hardly, Nebraska.
He got down home American origins. Sonic is a patriot. That's why he's blue.
Oh, damn. Is
yes,
Knuckles
they
a
like
patriot
link
too,
up
then?
and they form red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
Yes, and Silver's
Yes,
close enough.
Silver tries his
He's
best.
white-ish.
Will do. Can you think of a suitable Sonic motto? Sonic the Spiky Ball. Sure.
Does he know what a
It's
motto
direct.
is?
I don't know.
It's direct and to the
I
point.
don't think that's...
Sonic is the spiky ball.
Yeah. The next one is Richard Fairbrass of Right Said Fred. So the only thing I really know about Right Said Fred is they, like, did music for Sega commercials in the UK.
Hey, there you go.
They had, like, this one very distinct thing I know about, like, Sega's attempts to be edgy in the UK was making, like, these big commercials that were made to look like pirate broadcasts. It was...
What?
It was called
What?
Sega Pirate TV, and they would, like, show... They, like, set it up to make it look like it was, like, your TV got, like, hacked into by these, like, weird sci-fi dudes
What?
to advertise Sega games.
Sega,
Oh my god.
Sega, you're
I
doing
hate
too much.
companies.
Just tell us about.
The other
You're
thing...
not rebellious. Sega, you're not rebellious. We get it. You can do what Nintendo. We get it. Shut the fuck up.
There was another weird thing they did before that in the UK where it was, like, to advertise Sega, they, like, showed a guy going to some mysterious barber and, well, I don't even know if he was, like, a barber. I'm just going from context. He sits in a chair, like, a guy sits in the chair with this weird cyberpunk barber dude, and he says, "I'll have the cyber razor cut." And then, like, Sega said that the Sega the Sega Master System, the Sega Mega Drive is faster than a cyber razor cut. They don't say what it is, but it's faster.
How
Oh.
did Sega exist as a company for as long as it did?
That makes... Okay.
So these questions are: what was your most bizarre Sonic moment? When he jumped out of
Why
the
are
console
all
and
these
ran across the carpet.
Why are all these people being hunted by Sonic?
Sonic
They're just-
is real,
all
Eddie
these
is
people.
coming for you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I thought he was my friend. I thought he was real and true and my friend.
Apparently, these people have done some crime that Sonic cannot forgive.
Sonic will not forgive you.
Shit, this is Sonic.exe. Oh boy.
No!
Who would you cast to play Robotnik in the film? James Woods.
I thought we weren't doing EXE until Halloween.
Oh boy, I'm looking forward to Halloween. Let's see, what would be your first question if you met Sonic? Don't you get cramped in there? I guess when he rolls into a ball.
No, in the console, because he came out at the console. Don't you get cramped in the console?
And running at you for across your carpet. He's finally free.
The most frustrating thing about Sonic, he doesn't speak French.
What does that mean, my dude? What are
Do
you
you?
talking? What are you talking about?
Do you speak French?
Maybe he does?
I don't either. Are you frustrated with me, sir?
I mean, it's the UK. They're like cartoonishly racist against French people.
But then it would be the opposite. Wouldn't he be like, oh, good, Sonic doesn't speak French.
He wants a reason to
Good, fuck
hate
the
Sonic.
French. That's what I mean. I don't know. True. Fair enough.
Tom Hingley of the Inspiral Carpets.
This man was already
No
got
idea
by
who this
Sonic.
is.
There's
They
no
don't
picture.
have a photo because he was already erased.
Oh no.
He's been turned into a ring. He's been turned into a ring.
Rest in peace.
That's why they're so afraid.
And
They're
eaten,
trying to save him.
according to that first person.
Apparently he either is planning to or released a solo album this year called Hymns for the Hungry.
Oh, 2020?
Tom's still going for it.
Right on, Tom.
Allegedly.
Yeah, so still out there. Let's see, his questions were, who would you cast to play Robotnik in a film? Lionel Blair. Most frustrating thing about Sonic. Unimportant things stopping me from playing, like my wife, kids, etc.
Excuse me?
It's like that comic of that person who's like, I'm playing video games.
Mom, get out of my room, I'm playing Sonic.
I can't do chores, I'm playing video games.
Mom, get out of my room, I'm playing Sonic.
Can't you see I'm gaming over here? My wife and son, please leave me alone. I need to get all 7 Chaos Emeralds. Where would you take Sonic to lunch? Corley Motorway Service Station. There's always plenty of hedgehogs there. Sick.
What?
They see?
There's hedgehogs there?
I guess.
Are hedgehogs native to the UK?
I think they are.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that ends our celebrity interview portion. Let's move on to Tails. Tails. Robotnik once said he wouldn't give 2 eggs for Sonic's pals. Well, in fact, Sonic's friends ain't too keen on Robotnik. And when the going gets eggy for Sonic, Tails is always there to help him out. Early Tails. A young fox born on Mobius, Tails had always looked up to Sonic and dreamed of being like him. But he was luckier than most people in one crucial thing. He knew Sonic. It's not everyone that has a jet-propelled superhero for a pal. But then again, they're thin on the ground.
You know...
What?
You don't meet too many fox boys who also have 2 tails that can fly them around like helicopters. There's like only 1 in every few thousand people have that ability.
Miles Prower, Tails' real name, was pretty distinctive himself. A regular, everyday sort of fox from most angles. He was actually graced with 2 tails. 1 is enough for most foxes, but Miles had to go and have 2. Like his hero, he was distinctive, not part of the ordinary forest crowd. Maybe, he hoped, even destined for greatness too. Miles was instantly nicknamed Tails. People can be really obvious, can't they? And took a fair bit of kidding from the other animals for his spare brush. This never bothered Tails, though. He knew he was special. The others soon stopped the wind-ups too, when they saw his additional appendage enabled him to fly. That's just Tails Facts 101. Tails discovered his ability by pure accident. Literally, in fact. He was climbing a huge tree in the Green Hill Zone one day, and had inched his way to the top when a branch he was standing on gave way, and he plummeted towards the ground. Disaster was only a second away when his tail suddenly whirred into action. He simply hovered to safety as if it was the most natural thing in the world. Further experiment proved he could do it at will. He was one cool airborne fox.
This image really gives the impression that Tails himself was born with shoes and gloves on.
His first encounter with Sonic was memorable. Tails had learned of the daring, single-handed campaign which the Hedgehog had successfully waged against Robotnik. Indirectly, he felt he owed him his life. One day, while hovering around on the South Island, he actually ran slap into the Supersonic One. Sonic, fortunately, wasn't traveling too fast, so neither of them came to any harm. And then there's a little scene here. Let me see if I can do the right voice.
Do you want, like, someone else to play Tails or something?
Yeah, sure. It's...
You know.
I mean, it looks like it's just one line, but if you want, sure.
Oh, it is just one line. Boring.
I'll just read it. Watch where you're hovering, dude, Sonic said, checking his quills were still in place. Sonic, gasped Tails. That's my name, said Sonic, eyeing the fox inquisitively. Hey, you've got 2 tails. That's cool. Tails blurted out his admiration for Sonic, which, naturally, Sonic enjoyed, and soon the pair got to talking. Friendship had struck up, and from that point on, Tails shadowed his pal everywhere in an effort to keep up with him. Occasionally this would drive Sonic up the wall, particularly when Tails would get under his sneakers and trip them both up. Usually, when the fox got too close for comfort, he'd put on a burst and leave him behind. But sooner or later, Tails would come helicoptering into sight with his tail spinning for all they were worth. Oh, they're literally just translating the game mechanic where if you get too far away from Tails, he flies back onto screen. Sonic liked to tease his pal by zooming off or performing his super dash attack, but he couldn't believe it when Tails developed a spin attack of his own. Sonic had been showing off, as usual, and Tails had been trying to imitate his pal, taking a run-up and bowling head over heels. Then suddenly, he picked up some speed out of nowhere and turned into a ball of red fur. He had his very own spin attack.
He hits him
but
with
he's
his
not
tails.
Spiky.
He hits him with his tails.
Yeah, he's fluffy. I guess it works.
They aren't strong as helicopters for nothing.
Yeah.
You know what? I've never been hit by a helicopter, so I wouldn't know.
From then on, like it or not, and there were times when it was definitely not for Sonic, the two are inseparable. Tails and Sonic were a double act. A red ball of fur. Where Sonic is always impeccably turned out, Tails just doesn't have Sonic's style. Then there's the matter of possessing 2 tails. This makes him doubly good at wafting away unpleasant smells and insects. Double joints at the base of his spine explain their bizarre rotary action.
Did he
I don't know how to take that. Like, yeah, he's just real good at wafting his farts away from himself. Damn, I would too if I could, like, spin them impossibly to fly.
You know, I've never seen someone ever try to explain how it's actually possible for Tails to just spin his tails like that. Like, double joints, huh? Huh.
That still makes no sense, because, most tails are ball socket joints, I think.
I think, yeah. Okay. What a character. Like his pal, Tails is naturally inquisitive. He loves exploring, delving about, and rooting around the undergrowth. He is also crafty, hanging back to see how things turn out. Blindly loyal to the point of unquestioning stupidity, Tails will follow Sonic... Oh.
Why is this thing so mean to Tails? Every few sentences, it's just like, and Sonic is really annoyed whenever Tails is around. Anyways.
You know,
It's just like... Tails is fucking dumb, bitch. Like, that's what it's saying. It's like, no, he's like 5. Like...
Why is this thing so mean to the boy?
I think it's just British. Like, this is kind of a thing in UK Sonic. Like, Tails always gets, like, Sonic's always, like, poking fun at Tails, and it gets really mean to Tails sometimes, but...
But poking fun is different than calling him stupid. Like... There's a difference between, like, haha, you're a huge fucking loser, you fucking fly, nerd.
It's just great because, like, in the previous sentence, they're like, oh yeah, he's crafty and, like, able to do, like, things Sonic can't. But he's just dumb also. Smart but stupid. Yeah, maybe Tails is the most relatable here.
He's smart, but he's dumb.
God, big mood. That's me. Tails is the proletariat hero we all deserve.
Tails will follow Sonic anywhere, no matter what the dangers. It's possible to conclude that Tails is more than a bit dim, but hey, he means well, and his heart is in the right place. Thanks. Taste, bud! Unlike most foxes, Tails' diet doesn't consist of several plundered chickens a day. It upset Sonic, who pointed out that he might end up picking chirps from his teeth one day. Instead, he shares a diet similar to Sonic's, though he still can't resist that odd fried chicken bucket. That's it for Tails.
You know what? Same. I do like a fried chicken.
Sonic just straight up shames Tails for his natural diet. He's like, you're just not allowed to eat like the rest of your people.
Yeah, it is interesting that they do say this is what he ate until he met Sonic.
It wasn't even like, oh, he was just like a vegan naturally. No, he ate this before. Sonic just told him no.
They're not even vegans, though. They eat chili dogs.
Yeah, like it's... Like, in an earlier thing, it does say Sonic basically eats only junk food, but it's okay because he's really fast and can burn off the calories.
But, like, junk food includes meat sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of junk food is meat. Like a hamburger.
That's not junk food. Well, kind of, yeah. It's greasy, I guess.
Does Sonic just hate, like, those, like, oh, grilled chicken is healthier for you? Does he just, like, hate anything that's not, like, fried, like, really greasy chicken?
I don't think he has a problem with fried foods, like...
He prefers it, doesn't he? He's a little more like, I gotta eat more calories because I burn it off so fast.
He's like, Tails, I burn off those calories so quick, you can't be doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's concerned for the boy. He knows how many calories he's using.
Yeah, so...
He burns it off, rotating his tails around, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let's see, we're at 40 minutes, so... I think I can go to this next section. It's an interview.
With Sonic?
Yeah, it looks like it's an interview with Sonic directly. It doesn't look too long. I can cover this. Let's see. In this exclusive interview, Vol Magazine's Aseg Iporu caught up with the Supersonic Hedgehog who has the style to spare. They talked about Sonic's life, his style, and the rumors concerning a forthcoming TV show and a film based on his adventures.
They love talking about his style.
I mean, straight up, he is just a straight up blue hedgehog. Like, that's pretty stylish.
He wears fucking shoes, and that's it.
They're nice shoes. In my extensive career, I've interviewed the biggest stars, but nothing could prepare for my first meeting with Sonic the Hedgehog. Setting up the interview took months. I was not, as I first imagined, because Sonic... this was not, as I first imagined, because Sonic prefers to remain aloof from his audience. In fact, much the opposite is true. He is gregarious by nature, open and easy to talk to, but he is genuinely impossible to track down most of the time. He never seems to be in one place long enough to accept a phone call, let alone schedule an interview. Eventually, though, with some help from Sega, I was able to organize a rendezvous when he stopped over on a whistle-stop promotional tour. When I came face-to-face with the Supersonic Star, in the penthouse suite of a 5-star hotel, I was amazed at his immaculate appearance. Washed and groomed, his blue spikes stiffly combed back, his eyes glinting in the light. He was the very embodiment of charisma. A hectic schedule notwithstanding, he seemed relaxed and communicative, though after only a few minutes it was rapidly becoming clear he had a short concentration span, breaking off in mid-answer to scout inquisitively round the room or gaze out the window as if he was looking for someone. Time was short, so he got straight to business. I guess I'll be a Seg, and who wants to be Sonic?
I could be, I guess.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I'll try a Sonic voice.
Alright.
Sonic speed!
Alright. It's been a long wait for the second installment of your adventures. How come Sonic 2 took so long?
Well, Sig, it probably because I set Robotnik's plans back so much last time. In fact, we hoped he was finished, but old Egg Features is back and he means business.
It certainly looks like a tougher challenge this time.
Yeah, I think Whale Belly realizes he underestimated me last time, but his lame challenges don't faze me. He jumps across the room to rummage through wardrobes and drawers.
I'm really happy for these RP quotes. It's something of a buddy to act this time.
You mean Tails? Well, sometimes I wonder which side that dude's on, but he means well. Whatever happens though, Sonic 2 is my show. I'm still top hog.
All I'm getting from this is Sonic has the same introduction and energy levels of Abdol meeting Dio for the first time. Just the unrivaled charisma and just being like, "You want to see my hog?
You want to see my hag?"
Talking of top billing, I want to ask you about the rumors of a possible film deal.
Well, first of all, there's a TV series, but it could well happen. Yeah, I mean, if these dumb Italian waiters or whatever they do are worth a film, then I sure as hell am. Fuck Mario. Things are in planning stages at the moment, but I can tell you that I'll be playing myself. No one else can manage the stunts.
This is going to make you an even bigger name than you are now.
Could be, but that's cool. I deserve it. At this point, Sonic leaps out of seat and peers through the window.
How do you feel about hype and attention? People writing books about you and opening clubs named after you and so on.
Well, I'm flattered. The book sounds brilliant, though. What's with all this stuff on Robotnik? Wait, what? Though, what's with all the stuff on Robotnik? There we go. I was having trouble with that for some reason.
What is your kind of music?
Well, basically anything that has a fast beat. Thrash metal, rave music, hardcore. The more BPMs, the better.
Oh my god, I love Sonic's music taste. Is that what you do with your spare time?
Well, I rarely have any spare time, but when I do, I play a lot of games, usually on my Game Gear. I'm pretty hot, despite the fact that I don't practice much. Basically, I go for anything that scrolls fast. Racing sims, shoot 'em ups. The one I can't put down currently is Road Rash 2. It's almost as fast as I am.
What about your eating habits?
Well, I don't eat at flash restaurants. The service is too slow, and the food's weird. Generally, I eat on the go, on the move. Fast food, the faster the better, and lots of it. I need plenty of calories because I burn up so much energy. My current favorite is nachos, hot and spicy and covered with loads of melted cheese. Which reminds me, I'm hungry. I think I'll send out for something. Leaps out of the air and grabs telephone.
Sonic, you're pretty laid back. Does anything bother you?
Well, I try not to let it. But there are a few things that get my spikes up, yeah. Hanging around is the main one. Like, getting stuck in queues drives me crazy. Also, people who think that it's clever to offer me hedgehog-flavored crisps and make jokes like, why did Sonic cross the road to see his flatmates? What? Okay, if I've heard that one once, I've heard it a million times. Oh, yeah, people don't respect the environment. They're a total pain. I mean, true, but also very thrown in there.
Conversation turns to Mobius, on which Sonic is notoriously unforthcoming, except to say that it's a cool place.
It's a cool place.
And they say it gets cold. Think you're bundled up, pal? Wait till you get older. Before we can make any headway, we are interrupted by a knock on the door and the appearance of a double order of burgers, extra large fries, a deep pan pizza, hot dogs, and a bucket of cola, which Sonic launches hungrily into. Unable to compete with this for his attention, I make my way to the lift. I realize the entire interview took less than 5 minutes. What is it with this guy?
I love that he just, I feel like he's also like the most American. Also,
Oh yeah, yeah. Like, as I understand it, just based on listening to the podcast I've mentioned before, Sonic the Comic, the podcast. Go listen to it if you're interested. In the 90s, America was the cool place to the UK. Like, that's where all the Western cartoons came from. That's where all the movies came from. It's the cool land. Let's see. But yeah, I think that about covers everything for this week. So why don't we read some questions? If you want your question read on the show, you can send us a question either on Twitter. You can email us at sonicshufflecast@gmail.com, or you can post a question whenever you feel like it in the Ask Zone of our Discord channel, of our Discord server, which is linked in the show notes as always.
we have one on the Twitter, it looks like.
Yeah. So for our first question, it comes from @GirlDickEnergy. So, we've already established that Sonic is too sexy for his shirt. What else is he too sexy for?
This interview, that's why he left.
Yeah, he's too sexy to stay in one place for too long, or else it destroys the area.
He's... I don't know. Obviously pants. He doesn't wear those either.
True. He doesn't wear anything except shoes and gloves.
Yeah, that's all I've got to say on that. Let's see. James the Cat Girl asks, which one of Sonic's friends...
Discord.
Yeah, on Discord. These are the Discord questions. Which one of Sonic's friends would fuse themselves with a demon for more power, and which one would act disgusted, fusing with a demon only to fuse with an angel later? I don't know if this is a fanfic joke or a Shin Megami Tensei joke, but I'm morbidly curious to find out.
I was like, is this a reference? What is this a reference to?
I know she's been playing the Shin Megami Tensei games lately, so that's
I
my
would assume
immediate
that.
guess.
That sounds like a Shin Megami thing, because I know there's like demons and stuff in it. I mean, Shadow would fuse with a demon for power,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, Shadow, if you think about it, is part demon. He is part alien demon. We will get to that one day.
I know he's the ultimate whatever, but what the fuck?
Let's see. I mean, obviously Dr. Eggman, like, a thing that happens a lot in the modern games is him trying to toy with greater supernatural powers and it backfiring on him.
Yeah, which one of Sonic's friends would Tails fuse with a demon to catch up with Sonic?
But he's not one of Sonic's friends. No, I'm just kidding. I know. I'm just being an asshole.
I think Tails would absolutely fuse with a demon and then fuse with an angel.
Well, nothing can handle Sonic, so...
I feel like Sonic would try not to fuse with anything.
Yeah,
Because he's like, I'm too fast. That'll slow me down.
I'm just thinking about what Sonic character would be most likely to be in a fanfic where that happens. Like, obviously it's Shadow.
Oh, yeah. Amy would fuse with an angel, maybe.
Would Knuckles fuse with a demon? Or an angel? Yeah, Knuckle wants power.
Knuckles would fuse with a demon. Knuckles wants power. He wants to be able to protect the Master Emerald better.
Yeah. See, Flutterdark asks, I forgot if this came up, how old is Tails supposed to be? I think it varies from continuity, but just the general ballpark is like 8 years old. He's like KO from OKKO. He's like 6 to 11 years old.
He's baby. And then, yeah, like, Sonic's usually, like, 15 to 17, so that makes, like, sense. Like, he's, like, the younger brother, the annoying younger brother, or the friendly younger brother, depending on the continuity.
Yeah. Yeah, that's generally how Tales is written. Let's see. Marshmallow asks, who would Sonic's favorite Doctor on Doctor Who be?
I don't know. I only watched a little bit of Doctor Who, even though there was definitely a point in my life where I was like, I would have been obsessed with it if I had watched it. The only one I watched was like Matt Smith, and then part of the Eccleston guy too.
I know only one, and that is the one David Tennant played. David Tennant, I don't know which number Doctor that is, but I think you would like David Tennant. David Tennant has the kind of like energy that Sonic might go for.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like kind of laid back, chill kind of guy.
Yeah. I used to remember reading about the Doctors, but I honestly don't remember all that much about them or have watched enough Doctor Who to actually say. But I guess you would like Doctor Who. I mean, this is UK Sonic. He's obviously watching Doctor Who. I couldn't tell you.
We do not have that.
You'd have
deep
to ask
Doctor
someone
Who
who
lore.
actually knows about Doctor Who.
Yeah, the intersection between Doctor Who and Sonic fans. Yeah, again, it's definitely something that I'm kind of surprised I never got into really fully. But it's extremely my type of thing as a kid.
Listeners, if you know which Doctor Sonic would like the most, let us know. All right. That's all our questions, so I'm going to go ahead and roll for the next continuity. Let me get myself set up for rolling a die.
Yeah, so in our mod chat, you can see the pinned message. And somehow we've never gotten the games, so let's see if we can keep that up.
Yeah. Oh my god. We rolled a 10. That means we're covering the miscellaneous category, and what I've like given a lot of thought of what to put in miscellaneous. I think next week I'll see if I can find like a digital copy or something. We're going to go through a UK Sonic Choose Your Own Adventure book written by a white wolf. Yes, the white wolf that writes the Vampire the Masquerade series.
Oh my god. Wait, have they done other Choose Your Own Adventures? I didn't think that was...
Yeah, there were like a couple, I think. And...
Oh my god.
And like, it's based on like a pre-existing model of Choose Your Own Adventure where they would like make these special ones that you would like assign stats to your character, and then you would like make the decisions. It was designed to be like a one-player version of an RPG session.
That's so funny. Oh man, especially because this is extremely dumb, but I was thinking about like the White Wolf games are named as like Vampire the Masquerade, Hunter the Vigil. Like they're all named like blank the blank, and I'm like Sonic the Hedgehog. There we go. Perfect fit.
It's perfect. Hey, it's Dan. I'm reporting from a few days after the original recording, and I have some bad news, some worse news, and a silver lining. The bad news is, the Sonic Choose Your Own Adventure book was not written by White Wolf. It was written by Puffin under the Fantail imprint. Second, it's impossible to find. I've searched high and low. I've tried every website. The only way I could get it is by paying $200 on Amazon, and fuck that. So, we won't be covering that next week, actually. However, the silver lining is we cover the next thing in the miscellaneous list, a personal favorite of mine. We're watching the Sonic OVA. We now resume our regular recording. Yeah, so with that, let's take it to the close. Let's see. I'm Dan. You can find me at a lot of places, and you can find all those places at linktr.ee/Mike_Dawson with a 0. From there, you can find my comedy blog at Xbox_Holiday, where Usher celebrates holidays with Xbox. You can find my Twitter. You can find the other 2 podcasts I do, which are Pod of Greed, a Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. We recently started the Egypt arc. And Stranger's Fiction, an actual play podcast focused on one-shots. I might be recording something that'll be going up soon. I'm not entirely sure. Morg, where can we find you?
You can find me at Haunting the Morg, that's Haunting the MORG, on Twitter. And, you can find the episodes I did of Wow Cool Robot, a podcast, a noise space podcast that I'm on. But by the time you hear this, I will no longer be the co-host. Because there's like a main co-host, Maxi Bajillion, who's also on Pot of Greed, and he's changing out the co-host for every series. I might be on again, and you should definitely listen back to my episodes, but yeah, that's Wow Cool Robot. That's Wow Cool Podcasts on Twitter, I believe. And then that's it for now. There is talk of maybe a future podcast, even though previous things I've mentioned on here may have fallen through. So definitely just follow my Twitter, see what happens. And Devon.
Yep. You can find my Twitter at Groovin Ghastly. That is GROVIN Ghastly, like the Pokemon. And then you can find my other podcast, which is Gone Will Hunting, which is a Hunter x Hunter recap podcast. And that is just at Gone Will Hunting at twitter.com. And yeah, that's about it. We have a few episodes out, so.
Yeah. And we are the Sonic Shuffle. You can find us on Twitter at @ShuffleSonic. From there, you can find our Discord and our email. Our email is sonicshufflecast@gmail.com. And, as always, Sonic is real, he is strong, and he is my friend.
He is the only blue life that matters.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.